Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew, where family's everything.
Until it's not. I'm Aunt.
And I'm Andrew.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm in my remote location again,
Oh
different
my
side of the
God.
street. Earlier
Uh,
in the summer, we did we did one episode, I think, from the
mhm.
beach. I'm back at the beach,
He's back at
but
the
the beach
beach,
is
but
that way.
instead of that way.
That way. That way. The
It's
mosh
that
is
way.
that way.
Yeah. Well, don't give out too much information. You don't want
Oh,
your fans coming and discovering you. So
absolutely not. New
another week
York.
of New York. It's an
I
episode
mean, it was
number
more
8.
entertaining.
It was. I wasn't
I
entertained.
mean,
I mean, it was entertaining in what that. Uh,
I
I,
mean,
I, uh, uh, uh.
as I said to you privately while it was airing, when I texted you,
Yes.
you know, I don't know if it's them specifically, or maybe it's this kind of girl person in New York in that
It.
industry, just because they're all very similar. They're great fashion. They know all the hot spots. They're over some of the hot spots. Like the way in which they've kind of navigated the season, in my opinion, has all been very catty and
Super.
over the top.
Yeah. Yeah. I also wonder, we've been talking about how they're really not friends and that they're hugging again when they see each other.
Oh,
It's driving me crazy right now. Is Ramona knew Jill for years through their little circles being down the Cape. She knew the Countess. Sonia was all over town with Ramona in the day when they were single. So they had seen each other. I don't think these women have ever seen each other before in their lives.
have you ever thought though that maybe like I can imagine that as social media has evolved and like the affluent culture has evolved, I think it's harder to know the affluent circles in a city, right? Because like when you didn't have the ability to like go vacation here, post a photo of it, I think there's more people that are moving in those circles. Like it's like kind of like new money versus old money, right? And so it's like old money, you like go to the society events. You're gonna go to the same kind of, it's the same group of people that are invited for these donor and dinners and galas. And I think now
Okay.
it's something more where it's like if they
You
bring
don't think these
capital,
women are being invited to those things?
I don't think they are in the same
Okay.
capacity. Like I
As
think that
like
those
Jill and Ramona and everyone did.
they were
Okay.
invited to write a check before, those women. It was like they were like contributors,
Mm.
right? Whereas
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
like, oh, Sai might go and she can post some videos and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good for
Yeah.
the client. And then you
Okay.
got Brynn doing this. And it's like, I just think that the world's changed where like communities of wealth have expanded and there's like, it's not just dollar bills anymore.
Oh, well, and they said I watched Watch What Happens Live after it.
Oh, he's
Did
back.
no, no, it was a repeat of the girls of
Oh,
RHONY. Like maybe they're trying to get the girls of RHONY up to speed with by putting them in again. He was not on last night, of course not. Andy's not filming on Sunday night of Labor Day weekend,
he
but
hasn't filmed for 3 weeks. I
I
think he's
know.
on a
Well, he's
hiatus
probably
until,
going to
yeah.
be back, this
Yeah.
week sometime, but he wasn't on last night. No, but they played that. And they said Sai and Jenna are the wealthiest.
Yeah. No, I remember
Yeah,
that from
I
when they were on
didn't.
originally.
Yeah, I didn't. Right. I didn't realize. I'd like to know where Sai made all her money. I'm going to assume as a social influencer. If she's been
Yeah.
doing this for 9 years, I mean, so she's making big money, but like you said, different type of money. It's not banking money. It's not Wall Street money. Actually, is anybody? I mean, Jessel's husband must be in finance. I would assume. I don't know.
Something.
Oh, what about
I
Aaron?
think
Is he in?
Abe is in finance or he's a lawyer, one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, eh, they need like some Wall Street guys and stuff, but a real big Wall Street guy would never do this show. You know.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Today's day and age, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Bitcoin the
they're
way it
not.
is and
Yeah, they're not.
crypto and
No, because they don't want to be, they don't want to
oh,
end up
they
like
don't want a
Joe.
highlighter.
Yeah, they don't want to highlight their activities. Look what happened to Joe Judice. For
Oh,
God's
yes.
sakes, he should have just think about
Okay.
if Teresa never did that. Think about
Think
how
about if
different
Joe
her life
Judice,
would be.
he's so stupid, he even opened his cover up, the pizza joint on TV.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So maybe that's why we don't have the huge money that is really making spectacular incomes in New York City because they're not going to expose themselves and they don't need it. These women all do have a job much different than they're all looking to promote themselves without a doubt.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think it's hard to compare the
Mm-hmm.
two shows. I think that, and I also have to say, I don't think it's Bravo's fault. I think it's hard to cast a show these days like they cast OG RHONY, because people
Mm-hmm.
know more about TV. They know what can happen. They know what it can bring you.
Right.
So it's different minds. Whereas Jill will say, I wanted to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
Bethany wanted to be famous. Luann was the countess. Alex
Right.
McCord and Simon, come on, they totally wanted to be famous.
Oh,
So all
totally.
they just wanted to
Totally.
be famous. So you have
Right.
people that are willing to do so much. And
Right.
that's actually probably a trend across all the series.
And
Cities.
someone like Sai might even be more famous than any of them ever were
Yeah.
before
Prior,
because she
pre.
has so many followers. How many have we ever to figure out
She
how
has about
many?
500,000, I think.
Oh, that's it. Oh, why did I think she was like in
Maybe
an 8
more.
million category?
She has high engagement. Like that's the other thing too, though. Like people can have a lot of followers, but if you have a lot of followers, maybe they're bot, maybe they're not super engaged.
Right.
But when you have engaged followers, like, and that's what I think Sai has, is Sai has people that started following her because she was doing like a beauty kind of demonstration or a fashion
Right.
demonstration. And so
Yeah.
that kind of eye then picks up more posts from Sai when she posts a
Right.
dress or makeup.
I get it.
So
I don't know. I just
can we just like cut to the chase though?
sure.
Because other
That's
than Jessel's husband wanting to go to Vietnam for three
no, for a
days,
sandwich. For a
yeah,
sandwich. Yeah, yeah,
seriously,
yeah. And I
you
have
think
a
he really wants to go?
no, I think he wants to go to some kinky
Yeah,
massage parlor.
yeah. So
That's
you're
what
thinking
I
that
think. I
I
think
think he's
he
trying
has
to
a
get a
kinky
rise.
massage parlor that he likes there, and that's why he wants to go. Nobody goes that far for a sandwich, even a man that's hungry. That's just my
N-
opinion.
Now, my opinion is she did not react surprised enough, crazy enough for hearing this for the first time.
Right. So
She's
you believe that it was just a
an act.
storyline. Yeah,
Just
just
like
an
the
act.
preschool conversation and him
Yeah.
pretending like he saw those
Oh,
numbers for the first time. It's like, first off, anyone in their right mind would assume that a preschool in New York, if you're talking about it on a TV show to get a rise, is
yeah.
probably 50 grand, probably minimum,
Yeah.
probably more than that. So
Right.
my point is I think they talk about it before. She's got a PR mind and
Yes,
she
and she's like,
thinks,
"Oh, anything." Well, she's gonna figure out that anything that happens in our life, we're going to focus and highlight on TV.
and
Right.
she and her
That's
husband
true.
have opened up more than any other couple. Not that they're all coupled up, but
No,
out of the
no, but
couples,
yeah, they are. Yeah, they've opened their lives the most to the parents, and well, Erin has also. Well, Jenna
yes.
had her brother Spencer on this year,
Yeah, I mean, they're
this
definitely
week,
all doing it,
and Brynn had her brother on.
but I'm saying consistent. Like we're
Right.
following them as a couple. And I have to say, as much as I still can't stand Jessel, and I feel like you're the same,
Yeah.
I think she solidified herself for another season.
Oh, just because she's so unlikable.
Unlikable, causing problems with the husband, super
Yeah.
catty,
Yeah.
like
Super catty.
has
Super
had issues
catty.
with the women, but
Yeah.
seems unfazed and had a good party, invited good people. There's still
Yeah.
mystery about her.
How much do you believe that they all stopped over the holidays? Because it did say 2 weeks later, like they came back after Christmas. I think they paused for Christmas
Oh,
because it said 2 weeks later, and then they were going to Anguilla. And
yeah.
Jessel said she'd lost a few pounds, and Jenna said she was starving. Because they all looked a little trimmer, and I thought, oh, they're so maybe too self-conscious about how they're being portrayed. Maybe that's what's
Yeah,
missing.
I think
I mean,
so.
let's face it, first season of RHONY, they didn't know what they were even doing. So they didn't have that wall of how they're being portrayed. They know what the Housewife franchise is all about. And I think they're all a little guarded, but man, are they catty women. I mean, the text messages between each
Oh,
other are sort of nasty. The talking behind the back. Uh, they're and it's funny because it just highlights when I tell you that I think they're all hugging and kissing. It's like phony. It's all phony because you don't hug and kiss people like that and then talk about them behind their backs like that. That's just me.
and what's weird, a couple things. First and foremost, do you think that I feel like we normally see a little more, at least with Jersey, we normally see a little more around like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think, it's just a night question, because of the anti-Semitism and the stuff that happened with the other cast member, they were like, no Hanukkah, no Christmas. We're skipping over it. We don't want any of this tradition, culture. We don't want anything misconstrued. Comments to me. They already lost one cast member.
Yeah. Yeah, they could
I'm
be.
just wondering.
Yeah, that could be.
Also,
That's a good observation. I hadn't
my
even really thought about it. I just thought they took a break over the holidays. But before everybody was having, I was surprised we didn't have one big holiday party. That little holiday party they
oh
had with
yeah,
the wreaths was horrible.
kind of tacky. It seemed like it was
Yeah,
checking
yeah,
a
yeah.
box.
Yeah, it should have been like a cocktail party type of thing, but maybe because they had Bryn's um Erin's anniversary party around the same
Maybe.
time. They didn't want
Well,
another party back to back. But I think the big story of this episode was Jenna Lyons
well,
has
before we move there, just one quick other just kind of question. I'm starting to feel just because when Brynn and Erin greeted each other at the airport after the storm off, they
yeah.
were like, "Hi, nice to
Ah,
see you."
yeah.
And I have to say, they did say early on in the season that they've had a on again, off again, like frenemy
Yeah,
kind
on
of thing
again, off.
for
Yeah.
years. And also the way that Brynn was talking to to Erin's husband, I do believe that they know each other as well. So, and I also think
Oh,
that they know they're filming a TV show. So I
yeah.
believe that they are far more, Erin and Brynn, in my opinion, are the two that are the most real with saying what they want to say, saying they're sorry, moving on. Like, I don't think either one of them are being as superficial. I think the cattiness
Oh,
that we see from Brynn and Erin is real. Like, that's who they are. It's not put on for the cameras.
okay. Oh, and
I
what
know
about Sai? I think her cattiness is real.
a little bit, but I also
Oh, a
think
lot.
she
I
knows
think
when
she
to
and
put it
Jessel.
on.
Ooh, she's catty too.
But Jessel's, I think, is fake. Like, I think just like the storylines are fake. Like,
Oh,
and
I
I think
don't know. I
Ubah,
don't think you Ubah
I don't
Ubah
know.
doesn't even. I don't know. Is she on the show? Because sometimes I
Uh,
feel like we don't
she's
see
far
her.
more than Taylor Armstrong.
Oh well, Taylor Armstrong. Poor Taylor Armstrong. But Jenna is a wounded bird who learned to fly,
I know.
and she has a lot of body image problems.
The teeth were so
The
visible and so
teeth
scary. I felt so bad.
and her skin and her issues. And I was mortified that these adult women could be so just
Close-minded.
they would just disregarded it. Like,
Well, let's
oh,
pretend she
my
didn't have a
body
skin
is
condition.
well, if
Let's
she
pretend
didn't
she
have
didn't. No, no, but
okay.
wait, is there anything wrong with going 2 days early, taking your own
No,
flight? Not at
no,
all.
no. I
Like, I
didn't
give her
think so
credit,
either. Yeah,
especially because she's been open to saying, I don't do girls' trips. So
right.
what she wants to do is she wants to go
Hi,
there a little
neighbor.
early,
Your neighbor's
get
just
a
arrived.
oh, that's nice. Get
Yeah,
a little comfortable,
yeah.
and then be able to feel like more like that she's not flying with the group. That's the anxiety of not being in the group setting that much. And so, like, I believe it goes medical condition, wanting to get acclimated like with the girls trip, and then the first class part. Because like
Oh, the first class
I,
part bothered me the least.
same,
Yeah, I could care less. They
same.
probably flew JetBlue from New York. And JetBlue
I
doesn't
think
have
so.
first class because when
No.
they said that we don't have first class, and JetBlue goes to all the islands from New York, it was probably JetBlue, but it is a 3 hour flight. If you get even more space, it's not the worst thing in the world. Sure, it's not first class, but I don't
No.
believe that was the reason. I do believe she wanted to take a time to herself. She wanted to get a spray tan. She wanted to get a real tan. I think she had her whole body. Somebody come in and do her whole body because it didn't look
Yeah.
bad to me at all because she had little spaghetti straps on and everything. But it was interesting because I thought about this. She's been such a successful, well, she's not a designer, but
Fashion.
force
Yeah, leader in the
a
fashion industry.
fashion leader behind J. Crew. And it's probably because she's very conscious of body issues more than the
Totally.
average person, because, and that's probably lended herself well to saying, oh, no, you
Oh,
don't do that on a dress. You don't do that on a dress because
yep.
women are conscious of this. They're conscious of
Yeah,
that because she has it. If you're perfect, Heidi Klum, and you're telling a designer what to do, you're not even aware that people have body images and body
totally.
image issues, but
Very
she
good
has
point.
big ones. And I thought, wow, she is probably has been so successful. What did she say? I wrote it down. 20 something years she was at J.
Yeah.
Crew. That's a
Hmm.
long time in fashion at
And she
one
climbed.
company. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was been there a long time. I think it's terrible when they go away and they all bitch about the rooms. That was a nice place. There was nothing wrong with that room. And when she
Totally.
came in and she said, it's charming, it's charming, they were like, oh, charming means that you really don't like it. I thought there is absolutely positively, this is a gorgeous villa.
Yeah.
And every single room is lovely.
Yep.
And them bitching about it just shows what a bunch of entitled bitches they are. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I think they're nasty. I wrote they're nasty, they're petty. They don't support each other.
They don't support other women.
No, they don't support other women, and they think they're like being this great group of friends. And then nobody had talked to Erin since that blowout at
Since the storm off
party. Yeah. So, I mean, that just shows how good of friends they are. They're not.
Yeah. And I mean, they must be, they've said that they've watched past seasons. So like, first and foremost, like, isn't it weird to see how some franchises, like New York, always got so sensitive and so mad about rooms? Then you see like OC is like, oh, I'll be your roommate. Oh, I'll be your roommate. They're
right.
like the you see like Tamara and Vicky, they were roommates in the Berkshires.
Yeah. And there are people who always stay together. They're like, oh, we end up, well, yeah, but even in RHONY, Ramona and Sonia always ended up in the same room together.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know. But they fought more than others.
Yeah, but they did always end up in the same bed for whatever reason. And then Sonia used to go in with Kelly Ben-Simone on the boat. There was a whole lot of rumors about that little tete-a-tete, which I probably believe too.
Are we done with, it's sad. I mean,
no, I mean, I have other stuff that I wrote down about them. Their text messages are nasty. The kid peeing all over the floor. I mean, really, why the heck isn't the kid in pull-ups? Put the kid in pull-ups. I mean, the poor kid asked them to do something. Oh, and I just want to say this. I don't care who I offend, to tell you the truth. When they show up at the masks with the airport, I over that. You're hugging, you're kissing, you're all over New York City. You're sleeping with every man you can find. You got to wear a mask through the airport.
Well, that's Brynn, not Erin.
Not Erin, but Brynn had one and someone else had one on. I forget who it was.
It was Brynn and Ubah.
Yeah, maybe. Well, she did just have COVID though. Now maybe she was doing it as a precaution because she did just have COVID and she couldn't.
Ubah also was named on Oprah's favorite things, and we know Oprah loves the masks. So she might also be playing to her investors, her people. Some people that are out there publicly want to portray
she invests in
healthy.
Masks?
No, but remember, Oprah added Ubah's hot sauce to her favorite things. So you just never know, like, who they're trying to impress. They don't want people to think that they're not being
totally enlightened and wear a mask and think that they're saving everybody.
It could be that kind of image thing. We have to remember these people are on a show.
Was there anything funny about this episode? Because I'm usually pretty snarky, and I didn't find one thing funny about this.
I think that we were not captivated, but we were all very, I think, horrified at the end. But at first, just kind of like, I found hearing about Jenna's disease very interesting. I didn't know much about it
too. I mean, the teeth,
and then I think we were also
and
horrified when the women reacted the way
her
they did.
hair is missing.
Yeah,
I mean, those are big things.
They are. So I think we were all kind of like it went. I was into it, but I wasn't picking it apart as much because it was a lot about Jenna and her
illness, and which has been huge. I mean, and to see what she's accomplished, being so self-conscious, but still maintain fashion. Has been interesting.
It's pretty impressive.
And for them to sit around and talk about it, and then when she discusses it, they were still very nasty and rude to they were like, oh, well, really, I didn't know you were so self-conscious about your skin disorder. Instead, it was like, oh, you look like a tan and you've been at the Four Seasons and oh, you got a massage. Ugh, I don't know. I'm just not.
I know. It wasn't cool. Well, did you see the clips from the season finale of Vanderpump filming?
I saw the clips of the season of Vanderpump Rules. Yes, I did. And so many things bother me about it. One is that Sandoval's there and Rachel's been completely canceled. Like, that bothers me because
she hasn't been canceled. She stopped filming.
No, she stopped though. I mean, I don't think that they would have brought her back in the fold. I mean, I think it was wise on her part to step away. I think it was wise if she comes back in a season or so.
No, she won't. I don't think
she's
so.
done
I think
forever
she's
and ever?
done. And I think I heard Ariana and Sheena on Sheena's podcast. It's a
Yeah.
really interesting listen because Ariana talks about how, like, wait, because we as a cast held them both accountable.
Yeah.
We know that fame, money, and most of the time men get preferential treatment. So
Yeah.
he's more famous, he has
Yeah.
more money,
Yeah.
and he's a man.
Right.
So like I it's pretty easy to understand of why like Ariana's the victim,
Okay.
Tom's the villain,
Yeah.
and Rachel is kind of like the weapon that the villain used. And once the weapon's used, the weapon's done. You can't
Oh,
like, you know what I'm
no, I
saying?
get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So
just
that
like
is
in
what
guns, people
that
blame the
is.
weapon.
Yeah, but so Sheena and Ariana said that
Yeah, they
they
kind of
had
mentioned that.
enough. Oh, so they realized that she was just the weapon.
Yeah, I mean, she was
He
just as
was the one that pulled
involved.
the trigger.
And after that, she's kind of like non-existent. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like she's meaningless now.
Yeah,
Once
that's
the deed's been done, the deed's been
right.
done.
I think she was used the most, believe it or not. I
Yeah,
mean, she was no
even
saint
by
or
Bethany.
anything either, but even by Bethany,
And then
I know.
Bethany used her to get the #2 podcast in the world. So not only Bravo and the cast used her, and Sando, like they used the whole situation to become the #1 reality show.
Yeah.
And then all
Yeah.
Bethany just decided, I want to be the #1 first podcast.
And you know what's so sad to me about that is that she is the most wounded, Rachel, with the least self-respect.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways because of her pageant history and everything. I think she's a very insecure woman, is what I'm
But
saying.
if someone sent me a prompt
very
and said,
insecure, and this is only going to make her more insecure being used by everybody the way she
but
has
if someone sent you like a prompt and said, Aunt, this is
yes.
going to happen this season on Vanderpump Rules. 2 of the OG cast members are going to break up. Oh, like, and say there were multiple couples, but they just said 2 of the headliners are going to be together, and then a, D-list co-star that's been on a few seasons, never had a big voice, is going to come in and shake it up. What do you think's going to happen? I would say the way that people support people television, the 2 stars are going to get supported by their cronies that follow
Right.
them.
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
one
yeah.
that's not in,
is the one that gets slashed.
The only time the person that is like the lower level in fame gets all the attention is if Ariana and Rachel had switched places. Because then I think then they'd be rallying around the woman that wasn't as famous.
Oh, okay.
But if you're the woman that's doing the dirty and you're not as famous as the other one,
yeah,
bye-bye.
you're disposable too.
Yep.
Yeah, and she never really had a great fan base, anyways, with James.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I mean, she was. Where I feel bad for Rachel to a degree, because having seen her with even Bethany, she's fragile and she doesn't have any self-confidence, even though she's beautiful and she's won pageants and all this. I don't think she's a very confident person. I think she's got a lot of growing up still to do.
Totally.
Yeah, that's too bad. Anyways.
Well, like us, subscribe us, comment. We love you.
Yeah, and tell us how
see.
you know what I'd like to know? I'd like to know how other people think this season, like what is missing besides we know what's missing. Like, what could they add that would make a difference, and what needs to come out?
And this is on RHONY.
Yeah,
the reboot of RHONY.
Yeah. The reboot of RHONY. I don't know who really needs to go, but 1 or 2 do, and
we'd love to hear what you think.
Bring someone in. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Jenna Lyons needs to go.
Who knows?
Because I will say this. Yeah, tell us. But I will say this. I think some of the problem is that they're all don't feel like they're on equal footing with each other.
No. So they're overcompensating in areas. They're stepping back in others.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think it is. All right.
Well, tell us what you think, because
I'd love
We
to know.
love you guys.
I love you.
Love your favorite aunt and your favorite Andrew. Bye.
Bye.